Hi everyone, welcome back to InvesFink. Is the market setting up for a big move on Wednesday, June 11th? Well, we are going to give the inside track on the key levels for Nifty, Sensex, Banknifty and FINNIFTY that could drive tomorrow's action. But there's more. Stick with us to the very end for our exclusive deep dive where we are decoding Tuesday's most explosive stocks and what their moves could mean for you for tomorrow. So watch until the very end. Before we jump onto the details, please go through the disclaimer. Now let's begin with the analysis on the indices. So here is the Nifty 50 chart. So this is a candlestick pattern. In fact, today, as you could see, we opened gap up. However, this gap up could not sustain, and from the very highs, we started seeing Nifty continue to fall. So there was a kind of consolidation in between. However, ultimately we closed at 25,104 levels. So we can say that there was no change at all from the yesterday's move. So overall, the simple analogy what we can make from yesterday's or maybe today's move is markets tried to move up. However, there was a selling pressure that we had seen, and from those levels we continued to start falling down. And now tomorrow we will have to see if we open flat and then maybe continue to fall below 25,100 odd levels. If that happens, then we are expected to see some downfall which could lead to 24,900 levels too on Nifty. On the higher side, as long as we continue to start trading above 25,200 odd levels, only then the long should be taken. Else, if there is no point in going long, because there could be sharp fall that could be expected. Now Thursday we will have expiry. However, we are anticipating that there could be some volatility that could be expected in tomorrow's trading session. So we have to remain cautious and take positions only when you see proper confidence in the longs on the higher side. If we are unable to sustain 25,200 odd levels, then it is okay to take sideways kind of trades or maybe shorts. Now let's see from the perspective of open interest. So on the open interest, it is quite skewed. So we see both call additions at higher levels around 25,100 and beyond. Similarly, at the lower levels as well, we could see put writings that had happened at 25,100 and below. However, there seems to be some additional positions that have been carried or taken just alone in today's trading session. So this suggests that there could be some strength on the call writers and they are in a wait and watch mode. So provided if we start trading below 25,000, there would be severe open interest additions that would happen for all the strikes above 25,000. So as long as 25,200 do not cross, we could not see any kind of long positions or long biasness on Nifty. So we will have crucial juncture or zone at 25,200 odd levels. Below that, 25,000 would act as a strong or significant support for us. If we start breaking below 25,000, then as we discussed, we might approach even towards 24,900 for the expiry. Now at PCR, it is 0.1 overall and 0.79 or 0.8 at the money, which is still mildly bullish. So we can have a wait and watch approach for longs to be taken at least until 25,200 levels are crossed. So till then it is a negative bias. Now let's see from the perspective of Sensex. So Sensex as well opened gap up, as you could see. However, this gap up could not sustain, and from the highs of 82,680 odd levels, we started dipping, and gradually, there was more selling pressure that was seen, and ultimately we closed 55 points down compared to previous trading session. Though we have not significantly fallen down, and we still have that strong support at 82,200 odd levels. So as long as we do not close below these levels around 82,100 to 200 odd, still that could be considered as positives. And once we breach 82,550 or 600 odd levels, from where we actually saw this selling pressure come in. So we have been hovering towards that particular zone from almost like 2 odd trading sessions. However, decisively we have not been able to close above those levels. If that happens, then there are high probabilities for Sensex to move up and approach towards 84,000 odd levels on the high side. So from the lower perspective, the support would be at around 82,000 to 82,200 odd levels, and on resistance, once we immediately cross 82,500 odd levels, then we can go longs on Sensex for next leg of up move towards 83,000 and above. Now from the open interest perspective, so today there was a Sensex expiry. However, we were anticipating that there could be some volatile moves, but nothing of that sort actually had happened. Surprising part about the open interest is, so for the new 17th June weekly expiry, we already see a lot of open interest additions at 82,500 odd levels. So if you could see at this particular strike, these two strikes, 82,400 as well as 82,500, we see significant open interest positions got built up both on the call side as well as on the put side. Now what this suggests is, so for this week 17th June expiry, we may not significantly cross beyond 82,500 on Sensex. So this is what we could evidently see. We also see there is a strong support that has emerged at 81,000 odd levels, and then sub support kind of at 82,000 odd levels. So as long as we cross 82,500 odd levels on the higher side, till then we can go shorts on Sensex. So once we cross or start trading above 82,500 to 550 odd levels, only then we could see the strength getting built up, and then we might approach 83,000 levels in the coming days. So if you could see the way how we have been seeing sharp additions from the call writers until 80,000 odd levels, similar such kind of strong open interest additions are not seen on the long side. So slightly you could see at 84, at 83,500 and at 83,000, but not significant compared to the call writings. So put writers have initiated positions but not with significant strength. So the PCR still stands at 0.9 overall, which is positive, and at the money it is 0.85, which is still considered as bullish. But yes, immediately once we cross 82,550 odd levels, only then the long should be initiated. Next on Banknifty. So even Banknifty opened gap up in today's trading session around 56,993 levels. It even crossed 57,000 odd, but could not sustain those levels, and from there we sharply fell down. So there was a overall movement of around 460 odd points in Banknifty today. However, while close, we have still closed strong at 56,600 odd levels. So there was a downfall of 0.37% in today's trade. So for us, this zone of around 56,600 acts as a significant support, and on the higher side, once we cross 57,000 odd levels, only then the long should be initiated, and we can anticipate if that happens, we can significantly move towards 57,500 to 58,000 odd levels in Banknifty. Until the monthly expiry, there is definitely a scope for Banknifty to even cross or move 58,500 odd levels. Now let's understand from the perspective of open interest. Now open interest significantly suggests that there is some call additions that had happened at the higher levels. So as you could see at 57,000 strike, we could see open interest additions that had happened, and slight unwinding of the put writers. On even 56,000 odd levels, we see some unwinding on the put writing that has happened. So as long as we hover or trade in this range, 56,000 on the lower side until 57,000 on the higher side, there is no significant worries on Bank Nifty. Once we close above 57,000, then maybe we could see sharp rise that is expected to happen until 58,000 odd levels, because this is where we see good amount of open interest built up on the call side. So there is a strong support at 56,000 for Bank Nifty from the put writers. However, call writing has also been done significantly, so we have to have a wait and watch kind of approach where the market is expected to move. If it remains above 56,500, then nothing much to worry on the banking stocks. But overall, we should have a close watch, because there have been a significant up move already that had happened on Bank Nifty. So either now we might consolidate or see some sharp downfall moves, and then from there recovery could happen. So have a close watch at 56,000 odd levels on high side. On PCR front, it is 0.9, which is bullish. At the money is also trading at 0.88, which is quite strong. Now lastly, coming to FINNIFTY. So FINNIFTY also opened gap up, but that gap could not be sustained, and immediately we started to fall down. Now if you see, there was a drop of around 125 odd points, translating to 0.47% fall from the yesterday's close. Despite that, we have closed above the 26,850 odd mark, from where we had been hovering or trading in this flat box for almost 20 odd trading sessions. We traded in this flat box. Now from last 3 trading sessions, we crossed above that mark and then have been trading in a sideways zone. So significant positive could be considered once we start trading above 27,000 to 27,100 odd levels. So there are high probabilities for FINNIFTY to cross 27,500 in the coming days, if this kind of strength that remains above 26,850 odd levels. So for us, the strong support should act as 26,800 at max. Below that, if we see, then we should not continue with the long positions and have a wait and watch approach. So this would be another support for us as 26,600, from where we had seen this sharp up move rally. So if we continue to hold above 26,600 odd levels, then that would remain still bullish or positive. Now let's see from the perspective of open interest. Open interest additions have been made at higher levels, around 27,000 levels, and even at 27,500 levels from the call writing side. So there have been one single support at 27,000 for FINNIFTY. Immediately once we breach this level, then expect the move to come sharply towards 26,500 odd levels, which again is a strong support at these levels. But yes, from around 26,000 odd levels until 27,000, we see significant call writing that has happened. So at any given day, we might start trading below the significant levels of 26,800 odd levels on FINNIFTY, and if that happens, be prepared or ready for a sharp downfall. So as long as 26,800 sustains, only then we should look out for positive bias or long trades. PCR is quite high at 1.1, which is significantly bullish. At the money is at 0.76, which is still positive. Now comes the important segment, how the FIIs, proprietary traders, and retail traders have participated in today's trading session or the derivatives market. Now if you could see, the FIIs have continuing to hold around 93,000 odd positions as shorts in index futures. On options, on call options, they have significantly went long with 1.17 lakh contracts. However, to hedge their positions on the put side, they have again went long with 1.55 lakh contracts. So net on index options, FIIs continue to remain short with 38,600 odd contracts. Proprietary traders, on the other hand, have been mildly continuing with their shorts on index futures with just 15,000 odd contracts, which is not at all significant. Now on call options, they have went long with 67,000 odd contracts. On put options, however, they have hedged by shorting 18,000 odd contracts. So net proprietary traders again continue to hold their long positions with 86,000 odd contracts in index options. Clients or retailers, on the other hand, significantly cut down their short positions. So on index futures, they have been holding longs with 69,000 odd contracts. On index options, overall on call options, they are short with 1.85 lakh contracts. But on put options, they have hedged and taken short positions of 1.48 lakh contracts. So net from yesterday, there have been like significant change in the positions, and they are just short with 36,000 odd contracts. So a lot of shorts have been covered in today's trading session. So net if we have to say, only the proprietary traders are continuing to take long positions on the indexes. However, FIIs as well as retailers are continuing to go short on index options. Now coming to the cash market positions. So today as well we could see there have been significant buying in the cash market to the tune of 1,113 crores in equities by the domestic institutional investors. On the other hand, even the FIIs have been pumping the money and they bought 2,302 crores of stocks in the equity market. So as long as both the institutions continue to carry long positions, there is no much worry for us. But yes, we have to closely track at the significant levels on all these indices what we had discussed. Now comes the very crucial point of discussion, the buzzing or trending stocks. So in today's trading session, we saw Grasim Industries was the top performer on the Nifty 50 today. So it opened gap up, and then that gap was sustained and it continued. So there was a good kind of 100-point movement in today's kind of trading session, and it still closed on a strong note. But since this acts as a kind of doji pattern, so we have to see that in tomorrow's trading session, if the longs get continued, that would only happen once we start trading above the close of today or the high of today, that is around 2,700 or in the range of 2,750 odd levels. If we cross around 2,742 or 2,750, then we might see a significant up move that is expected to continue in Grasim. Now, why this sudden sharp jump? So there was a significant rally that had happened today, and this was the direct result of a major upgrade and highly bullish report from global brokerage firm Morgan Stanley, which presented a strong case for the company's re-rating and future growth. Now, Morgan Stanley's optimism was that there has been better than expected performance and market share gains of Grasim's new paint division, Birla Opus, so which have been significantly expected to do well and had performed really well as per the expectations from the brokerage houses. So that is when they have raised its price target to nearly 18%, which is roughly around 3,500 from the present levels. So this implies a potential upside of around approximately 36% from the previous trading session of around 2600 price. So since we already saw close to 4% jump in just one day's trading session, so with this positive news and a kind of bullish report what has been shared by the majority of the brokerage houses, there could be some buy that would continue to be seen in the coming trading sessions. However, we see a significant resistance at around 2850 levels, though the brokerages have been citing around 3500 for the price to move up. So we have significant resistance at around 2800 to 850 odd levels. Only once we cross those resistance, then we can consider as a positive bias in this stock and should take long positions from there on. So now, for now, we can have a wait and watch kind of approach as to how the tomorrow's close is expected to be. If that remains positive, only then we can go long. Now coming to RBL Bank. So RBL Bank we had already covered last 3 to 4 trading sessions before. So we saw from the resistance levels, RBL Bank continued to fall for almost like 6 odd trading sessions. Then last 3 trading sessions before, we saw last 2 trading sessions we saw significant rally from around 205 levels to 230 odd levels had been seen. However, today from those high levels we saw a sharp downfall to the tune of 8 rupees or 3.66%. Now since this also act as a significant resistance, so here you could see from where we saw a significant sell kind of positions that continued. So we have in fact touch or came towards those levels, and from there we saw sell off. So this is not fully engulfed. So we have roughly covered around 80% of drop of the previous highs. So now if tomorrow we open gap down or maybe flat and then the fall continues, then that should be considered as a negative for RBL Bank stock. Assume if we open somewhere half the mark here, then immediately there are possibilities for us to go long and continue from these zones. So we might further see 230 odd levels getting crossed if we open with the retracement of around 50% from today's close. So as long as that happens, we can still continue to take bullish trades on RBL Bank. Else if start taking or putting the alert for this particular stock once it start trading below 218 odd levels, because from there we had seen the significant rally that had come in. If that approaches further and there is a kind of weakness that is expected to be seen there, then we can take short positions on the RBL Bank. So that's it from our end as part of today's analysis. So if you liked or if you believe that today's video have brought some value, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your fellow traders. For daily pre-market report updates, make sure you subscribe to our channel and tap the bell icon so that you never miss an episode in the future. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Till then, happy trading.